So the book I Am Jazz was an exploration about personal identity, particularly from the perspective of a young student who was born with a boy's body but a girl brain. This book would be particularly helpful for young people because it showed a mirror of how a person sees themselves and a window of how the world sees them. In the book, Jazz had a number of different friends, and particularly she liked to sing, she liked to dance, and she liked to play with her friends. And that sort of baffled a lot of the other people around her, in particular her brothers and sisters. So her parents did an exploration of their own and found out that they could talk to a doctor about transgender identities and then explain those concepts to Jazz. And it would help Jazz make a transition to being a happier person in who she was and identifying who she was. So altogether, I think the book would be particularly helpful for anyone really, but especially students who are grappling with the idea of who they are, what makes them special, what is normal, and so that they can identify that different is special and identify what support systems that they need.
First, we did the literature connection form. We did the book I Am Jazz. The author is Jessica Herthel. This book would be appropriate for the grades 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. A summary of the book I Am Jazz is: I Am Jazz helped a young person identify who they are with the help of their parents and doctors, feel proud of being different. Jazz realized that different is special. This book would be appropriate for all students, especially those like Jazz, but it also educates others with a frame of references of what it feels like to be a transgender person. I Am Jazz connects with the subject social studies. 2 suggestions for teachers for oral response would be to think about the time people made you feel uncomfortable at something you liked and others did not, and also ask the students what feels normal to them. 2 suggestions for teachers for written response would be: 1, write about the time people made you feel uncomfortable about something you liked and others did not, and also have a couple general questions like what your favorite color is and have the students write down their answers. 2 suggestions for teachers for accommodations for special learners would be: 1, have them role play how a girl acts and how they think a boy acts, and read the story again and have the students take notes while reading it. 2 suggestions for teachers for technology integration would be: 1, have them go into groups and take a video of each other role-playing how they think a girl acts and how they think a boy acts, and Google what transgender people are and write down what they think it is. Next, we did the critical literacy concept map. The first question was, what is valued or ignored in the text? And we said that personal identity was valued. The second question was what the text communicates to you, and we said his journey of being a transgender person and being supported by her parents, doctors, and some people in her community. The third question was, does the meaning of text change if you look at the story from a different character's perspective? And we said no, the meaning of the text doesn't change, because if it was from the parents' perspective, they would just be telling our story in their perspective. The fourth question was, are some characters empowered and some devalued? And we said the main character, Jazz, was empowered and none were devalued. The fifth question was, does the message of the text maintain or challenge the status quo? And we said the message of the text challenges the status quo because it is challenging what is considered normal. The sixth question was, how can you use this text in your classroom? And we said we could use this text in the classroom by talking about what it is that makes an individual comfortable. For example, Jazz was asked to play sports at school but was not comfortable. The last question was, would you use this text, why or why not? And we said yes, because Jazz's parents show a sense of compassion and support for Jazz and always puts her first. Jazz's parents only want the best for her and want her to be happy and comfortable with herself.